Okay, Mr. Page, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon. Now begins the PM docket of the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City. If you're in possession of any type of electronic device, please place said device on the off or silent mode during proceedings. Preliminary matter, the board is going to revisit the AM docket, case number 6. Gurpreet Singh, GNS 3724 LLC, trading as Main Street Bar and Liquors, 3724 Eastern Avenue. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license here for violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February the 9th, 2018. Please come forward.
Counsel, identify yourself for the record, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. For the record, Frank Boozer on behalf of Gurpreet Singh and GNS 3724 LLC.
Good afternoon. Would everyone raise their right hands who's going to testify, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give at this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Is this going to be an admission or denial?
An admission, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you want to tell us what happened on February 9?
I will. After speaking with my client, he does have a doorman which checks ID Wednesday through Saturday nights, the business night of the week. On the evening in question, the doorman had stepped away. And I believe that the police did confirm there was a doorman that evening. It was purchased, the alcohol. The person was not carded. The doorman was not there at the time. When the officers were, in fact, writing the charge up for my client, then the security officer, then it appeared. As an abundance of cautions, not only was the server fired, the security detail was let go. My client has not only had the 2 required TAM certificates, he's had every single bartender, full-time bartender, certified under TAM at this time. So I don't think there's any way to better cover and prevent people being served underage and getting people actually pop the top on the bottle and take the money. So if he passes up to the board.
So he doesn't. Does he still have security or no?
He does. The security that was there has been let go. But then actually, one of those TAM services is also the security guard as well, the main security guard. Again, it's an admission. There's no excuse. It's somewhat I disagree with the gentleman in Baltimore County, but it is somewhat of a strict liability standard. There was a sale to the minor. More precaution has to be taken in order for us to prevent that from happening. The only thing in terms of mitigation that concerned me is when I looked at the prior violation of the board, there was a maximum fine back in 2016, November 2016. And I was not here. When I asked my client about that, he slept through and did not appear at that hearing, unfortunately. So I asked that he was required to pay the maximum penalty. I'd ask the board to give some consideration that he has been able to make it to this hearing, to take every step that I can think of at this point to prevent this from happening again. And he and I have had a very, very long talk about 3 times in front of the liquor board. This is his sole source of income for he and his family. They actually live right up the street, his wife and 2 children. That being said, that's all I have unless the board has any questions of the client or myself.
I wanted to ask, was he cooperative with you?
Yeah, he was very cooperative.
Okay. Do the commissioners have questions?
I don't have any questions.
No questions.
Anything further?
Just, officers, you know Mr. Singh fairly well, is that correct?
I do.
And you happen by his place on occasion, is that correct?
I have.
Is it a major problem in the community in any way, or is he pretty good?
Pretty good business.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. On the basis then of the materials contained in the charging documents, the admission, the testimony, and the proffers from counsel, I would find a violation of Rule 4.01 small a on February 9, 2018. Mr. Singh, I appreciate that you've taken steps to remedy this. The problem for us is that we have a sale to minor in 16, a sale to minor in 13, and now another. So I think in terms of, I'd impose a $1,000 fine and give you 30 days to pay it.
I, too, find a violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February 9, 2018, and I concur with a $1,000 fine given the history of violations for sales to minors.
I join my colleagues in finding a violation of Rule 4.01A on February 9, 2018, and would agree with the $1,000 fine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I do appreciate holding me till the afternoon for this morning. It was very
It's
kind of you.
fine.
Thank you. You be excused?
Yes.
I'd like to call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department Report, Detective Gatto. Board Exhibit 2, Investigation Report, Inspector Andy Perez. Licensee Exhibit 1, 3 alcohol brand certifications. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, preliminary matter on the PM docket, case number 6, 2301 East Biddle Street, and case number 7, 2700 West Fairmount Avenue. Those matters have been postponed. All interested parties will be notified as to the new date and time. First
Thank-
case on the PM docket, Michael Fassman, Ronald Hartman Sr., and Sonak Polster, General Umberto Nobel Society, Inc., trading as UN Society, 201 South Eaton Street. This is a Class C beer, wine, and liquor license here for violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on January the 31st, 2018. Please come forward.
Would all those who are going to testify raise their right hands, please?
You swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Michael Fastman.
Okay, and you're one of the licensees.
Yes, sir.
Would you admit that this happened on January 31 or deny it?
An admission, sir.
Okay. Do you want to tell the board what happened on that date?
I wasn't present, but I did speak with one of the officers who did give me the information, and based on the process, I do not wish to contest. It seemed to be a violation that we admit to.
Okay, and you've had this license since '06, and this is the first time there's been a sale to a minor, so does your staff understand what they're supposed to be doing?
They are what they should be doing, but unfortunately, that didn't take place.
Okay, but I mean, are these people who've been with you for a while, the employees?
The one person who was cited has not.
Are they getting the certifications?
Well, at this time, after the incident, my wife and I had purchased that facility, and the social club was part of the facility. We were members and thought to keep the club going. But after the 31st, we have not reopened because of our inability to manage that business. I just felt it was in our best interest to not have any further liabilities because of just really in our inability to
So
manage.
it's not open now?
That's correct, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, we closed the door.
And was he cooperative with you?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Do the commissioners have questions?
I don't have any questions.
Right, so I just want to make sure I understand. So this is a private club, is that right?
That's correct.
All right, and so not only is there the allegation or now the admission of this violation, but then it also appears that this private club is not open to the general public, but you had police cadet actually, who's probably not a member, or shouldn't be, go in there and buy. Okay, so what are your plans beyond, so it's been closed since February 1st, right?
That's correct, sir.
And what are your plans?
We're more of our plans is to either, as far as our involvement with the club, that has stopped. So as far as having a going concern with a liquor license, that's gonna stop. As far as the facility, what we're looking to do is either find a tenant and they inhabit and do whatever they need to do in that building under compliance for the city of Baltimore, or at this time we're also seeking a buyer for the facility. And really, that's really our general interest going forward, is either to sell the facility. If we're unable to sell it, potentially find a tenant, and of course to ensure that they are compliant with the city of Baltimore in inhabiting that facility.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything further? No, sir. All right. On the basis then of the admission, the testimony received, the materials contained in the charging documents, excuse me, I'd find a violation of Rule 4.01A on January 31, 2018. I would impose a $500 fine and give you 30 days to pay it.
I, too, find a violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on January 31st, 2018, and I concur with a $500 fine, 30 days to pay.
I find a violation of Rule 4.01A on January 31st, 2018, and agree with an imposition of a $500 fine.
Thank you, sir.
Understood. Thank you.
Good luck.
Yes, sir.
I call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department Report, Detective Greenhill. Board Exhibit 2, Investigation Report, Inspector Andy Perez.
Alberto Hernandez, trading as Oriental Sports Bar, 3820 East Pratt Street. This is a Class D beer and wine license, here for a violation of 4.01A, sales to minors on January the 31st, 2018. Violation of Rule 4, violation of Rule .3.03C, employee records on January the 31st, 2018. Please come forward.
Counsel.
For the record, Melvin J. Kudensky, 320 North Charles.
Good afternoon. So would everyone raise their right hands, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
So as to the sale to minor charge, do you admit or deny?
Admission.
And as to the employee record charge?
Technically, it's an admission. They had them, but they weren't available. Person got
Okay.
scared and didn't hand it, but we have them, but
All right.
I'll try to give you that now.
Are there things you want to tell us about both of these?
This is a small place up in Hollandtown. Used to be called Schaefer's. And I can tell you, all the years I would go up there, I never even saw it, knew the place was there. It's just a beer and wine place. Mr. Hernandez had just recently, you see, taken it over in August of 2017. Some of the staff weren't trained as well as they could. In fact, that's the reason why they didn't get the employee records cost. The person, the lady, when she was told that she served, she got all excited. We do have the records here of the employees with their driver's licenses, information. They were kept in a safe place, but she just freaked out, so to speak. They're going to have most of the parties there, alcohol certified again, and make sure they card everybody.
Is that Ms. Cardona who was who got upset?
I don't
Or
know
Ms.
whether-
Martinez?
Martinez, I think.
Do you know who you spoke to?
Sully, that sounds like a guy's name.
Cardona.
Cardona?
This is like
Yeah.
the employee
She was the
records
one that
that
dated. She got excited. Did
Can't
she
remember
like
all
you?
the
Or
facts.
Did she, did you have a hard time with her?
No, sir. She was very
Other
cool.
than being excited.
She was competitive.
Okay.
Women always get excited.
I thought so. That's what I said. We're on the air, so.
The commissioners have questions?
How often is he at the establishment, Mr. Hernandez?
She's there every day. It's a beer and wine place. It's not like a rock and roll, place. I guess if you go in there and got a beer and wine, that's about it.
Except, Mr. Kudensky, you said they're not a rock and roll place, but I think I saw somewhere, was it this case, where did I see this case where they were singing karaoke?
It's
Yeah.
probably singing songs.
Yeah,
and
without using a microphone. So there's some, without,
I don't know, is it a cultural thing? Were they
Acapella.
singing ethnic songs or just, or you don't know?
I can
Because
remember.
maybe it's a Latino place, right? Can't think they sing many Johnny Mathis songs.
I can remember what they
Okay.
singing.
I didn't think so either.
Okay, anything further? On the basis of the admissions and the testimony and proffers and the materials contained in the charging documents, I find a violation of Rule 4.01 small a on January 31, 2018, and a violation of Rule 3.03C on January 31, 2018. This is Mr. Hernandez's first violation. So as to each of those, I would impose a $250 fine and give him 30 days. That's for a total of 500. 30 days to pay.
I too find a violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on January 31st, 2018. However, I will impose a $400 fine. Additionally, I find a violation of Rule 3.03C, employee records, and I concur with a $250 fine.
I find a violation of Rule 4.01A on January 31st, 2018, and will agree with a $250 fine, and then violation of Rule 3.03C, and impose a $250 fine.
Thank you.
I call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department report, Detective Greenhill. Board Exhibit 2, investigation report, Inspector Andy Perez.
Shannon Glanville and Loris Glanville, Glanville, Inc., trading as Savannah's Island Bar and Grill, 4017-19 Eastern Avenue. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license, here for violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February the 8th, 2018. Please come forward.
Would you all raise your right hands, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Who wants to speak for the license?
Janet.
Step up to the mic, will you, please? Your name is?
Shannon Glanville.
Shannon Glanville, okay. So you're charged with a sale on February 8, 2018 to someone underage. Do you admit or deny that that happened?
Admit.
Admit, okay. Do you want to tell the board what happened that night?
We had a manager there. My husband and I had taken the night off, taken our daughter out for dinner, and then gotten a phone call that one of our bartenders sold to a minor.
Okay. And that bartender was the person experienced, new, what,
She's been with us since opening.
which was back in 14?
Yes,
Okay.
she knows
And
better.
She knows better, but she made a mistake.
She did. She's very apologetic. The manager, the bartender were both suspended for 30 days. And moving forward, hope not to make the mistake again. We're actually thinking about selling the business.
Okay. Cooperative?
Yes, sir.
Commissioners?
I don't have any questions.
No questions.
Okay, thank you. On the basis of your admission, testimony received, charging documents, I would find a violation of Rule 4.01A on February 8, 2018. Back in 16, you had a violation, so I would make this a $500 fine, and I'd give you 30 days to pay it.
I too find a violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors, February 8th, 2018, and I concur with a $500 imposition of a fine, 30 days to pay.
I find a violation of Rule 4.01A on February 6, 2018, and would agree. February 8th, sorry, thank you, Mr. Chairman. February 8th, 2016, and would agree with the imposition of a $500 fine.
Okay, thank you.
Do I wait there?
I call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department report, Detective Greenhill. Board Exhibit 2, investigation report, Inspector Perez.
William Holtling and James Trujillo, Second Chance Operating Ventures LLC, trading as Game, 1400 Warner Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license, here for violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February the 22nd, 2018. Please come forward.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Peter Previs on behalf of the licensees. Mr. James Trujillo is here with me today. He's the operator.
There's someone behind you, too.
It's just our witness, the bartender.
Okay, good afternoon. Will you all raise your right hands, please?
Swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Admission or denial?
Denial.
Okay. So who wants to testify for the inspectors?
Mr. Chairman, if the cadet is not going to testify first, I would ask that he be sequestered.
Okay, can I ask you to step outside, please?
Wait, sorry. Get in this way.
John, tell the cadet to sit down.
Detective?
All right. On the 22nd February of this year, at 23:55 hours, 11:55 p.m., Detective Greenhill, along with members of Vice, as well as the liquor agent John Chrisomalis from the Baltimore City Liquor Control Board, conducted an underage alcohol sales to minor investigation at the Game, located at 1400 Warner Street. Also working was the Baltimore City Police Cadet Cecil Harris with a date of birth of 26 March 1998, making him 19 years of age at the time of that particular investigation. Cadet Harris, who was working in undercover capacity, entered the Game located at 1400 Warner. Cadet Harris entered the establishment, sat at the bar, and ordered a Corona beer from bartender Mr. Michael James Hopkins Jr., male black, 34 years of age, with a date of birth of 10/1/83. While Cadet Harris was asking for the Corona, the bartender, Mr. Hopkins, asked Cadet Harris for identification to start a tab. Cadet Harris starts looking through his pockets, looking for his identification. Mr. Hopkins brings the Corona beer back to Cadet Harris, sits it directly in front of him. without accepting money for payment for the alcohol. Mr. Hopkins further stated he needed identification from Cadet Harris because his boss was watching him. Cadet Harris, still seated at the bar, notified members of Vice via text message that he had been served alcohol. At no time did bartender Mr. Hopkins ask Cadet Harris for proof of age. Detective Greenhill then notified other members of Vice as well as Liquor Board and advised them that Cadet Harris had just been served alcohol. The alcohol was furnished to him without payment. Minutes later, Detective Greenhill, along with Detective Gatto, along with Liquor Agent Chris Morales, entered the game located 1400 Warner Street, as mentioned earlier. The alcohol was furnished to Cadet Harris, so therefore there was no need to recover departmental currency. Liquor Agent Chris Morales photographed the Corona beer and returned it back to the bar. Detective Greenhill advised Mr. Hopkins that he would not be criminally charged, but a report would be written up for the bar. Also on the scene was manager, who was not identified at that time. She was advised that the bartender would not be criminally charged, but a report would be written up for the bar and forwarded to the Liquor Board. The establishment was left in control of the manager on duty at the time of the investigation.
Do you have questions for the detective?
Thank you, Detective Greenhill. Did you observe were you inside to make observations, or were you still outside when this occurred?
I was outside.
Okay. And you indicated that Mr. Hopkins asked for ID twice, right?
If that's what I indicated in my report, according to.
At one point, you said that he didn't ask for ID or proof of age, but you said he asked for ID twice.
According to my report, he asked Cadet Harris for identification to start a tab, and that's when Cadet Harris started looking through.
Okay, but you weren't privy to that conversation?
I wasn't privy to that conversation.
Understood. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Did you have something to add?
Everything was the same. The only thing I would add, Agent Chris Mouse, Baltimore City Liquor Board, is that when we entered the establishment, the beer was directly in front of the cadet. The server, I did not personally witness him there holding the beer, waiting for an ID.
Okay. Do you have questions for the inspector?
Was the establishment polite and cooperative?
They're very cooperative.
Thank you. No further
Absolutely.
questions. Thank you.
Okay. I guess that's the board's case.
They're going to call the cadet?
I don't know that we need to, but you may want to.
Okay. All right. Well, first I will call Mr. Well, I asked that Cadet Cecil Harris.
Would somebody ask the cadet to come in, please?
Don't let him come down the center, make him go around.
He was sworn. You were sworn, weren't you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll get the microphone, I can't hear you.
If you would speak into the mic, please. Okay? Gentleman has questions for you.
Okay. Cadet Harris, are you still a cadet, or have you been?
Yes, I'm still a cadet.
Okay. I didn't want to misstate your title. Okay. Do you recall going to Game Sports Bar on February 22nd, 2018 at approximately 23:55 hours?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And what happened? What happened after you entered the premises?
I entered the bar, sat at the bar, asked for a Corona. Bartender came up, asked me for ID, patted my pockets down. I said, okay, let me find it. Excuse me. And he brings me the Corona, and I texted the liquor board letting them know that I was served a drink, and after that, they came in.
Okay. And did you never touch the beer, right?
I did touch it.
You touched it?
Yes.
Okay. And were there any other conversations?
No.
Did the bartender continue to ask you for your ID?
He did.
Okay, and did you show it to him?
No.
You told him it was outside?
No, I said I was patting my pockets. I was still looking for it.
Okay, but you got your phone out to text somebody to bring your ID in. Isn't that what you told the bartender?
No.
Okay, and you said you touched the beer?
Yes.
Okay. Did you drink the beer?
No.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Other evidence?
Yes, I call Mr. Michael Hopkins. Mr. Hopkins, were you?
You have to step up to the microphone,
up.
please, sir.
Okay, were you sworn earlier?
Yeah, I was, yes.
Okay, and were you the bartender on duty that evening?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and how long have you been working at Game?
It's about 7 to 8 months.
Okay, and were you alcohol awareness certified?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we have we have the video download of the occasion. I asked that that be
Is
played.
there any, because it's different than what we've heard?
Yes,
Oh, okay, sure.
yes. So I would ask that, that we play the video, and I can provide a thumb drive for the board's
All right.
record for the evidence, and I would ask that Mr. Hopkins explain what happened.
Okay.
Mr. Trujillo, the licensee, is going to operate the laptop because I am totally ignorant. Can you-
That's an admission on the record, Mr. Priebus.
So, Morris, why don't you come over this side, and then, I don't know how we can do it so everyone can see.
We're okay.
I can't see it.
Let me slide
Should I-
this
let
out
me
of your way.
slide back?
No, you're going to stay there, but I'm going to put this out of your way. Thank you.
Put the screen down a little.
Okay. So you- Hey, please speak up because you're not by the mic, okay?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Just narrate as you see.
Explain who is who in the video.
It's just myself walking. So I said yes at the moment. I did acknowledge in his presence, so I'll be right with you. Nothing in. Just a head nod. I'll continue
Keep your voice up.
right there. Actually, like the drink, that was a Corona beer, and there I did ask for his ID.
Is
See, we
that-
can't really see him, but I assume he's right there.
Can you stop that and Okay. Mr. Trujillo and Mr. Hopkins, the court reporter is having a bit of a hard time because you're both talking at the same time. So I'm going to ask Mr. Trujillo to indicate what he's doing for the record, and then you're going to describe.
We rewound it to 11:54, that right? Okay, I'm gonna isolate
Turn
it.
around so
I
you
will,
can
let me get right to the spot. Okay, stop right there. Okay, so what he is going to be doing is walking out of the frame, and you'll see him going like this.
See Mr. Hopkins.
Mr. Hopkins, that's Mr. Hopkins there.
I can't.
Can you see that?
I didn't really see much of anything, but
It's just the glare.
Okay, let me do it again, because it's very evident. Put on pause, let me get it right to it. Okay, there we go. Now, can you see?
You put the screen down.
okay, and what is going on there?
Right.
So Mr. Hopkins is getting ready to walk out of the screen, and as he leaves, you can see him go like that.
And what does that mean?
Just symbolizing that I need to see your ID.
Oh, okay.
Did you verbalize it?
communicated that as well, Mr. Hopkins?
No, I can't see.
But he said, we already had testimony that he asked for it. So what's different about this? Okay. Okay, I saw the gesture.
It took me about maybe a minute or so to return. With the Bears, I may have been doing other things. I did at one point ask a second time for the ID. Not at one point that I hovered to look for it, but the beer was still in my possession. After the second time I did ask.
Did you ever put the beer on the bar for him awaiting his ID?
After the second time, yes.
Anything else?
Yeah, what, is that on?
Not sure where we are, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the beer has not been presented yet, and he's rummaging through his pockets, and the liquor board has not showed up yet.
Okay, at approximately 11:55, 59, the beer goes down. Do you-
We're almost there.
We're almost there.
Okay.
So what are we looking for?
So now you'll see that he's served the beer at 11:55 and 59 seconds. And he asks again for the second identification. At 11:56 and 13 seconds, he tells him to not touch the beer.
I couldn't have the beer until I saw his identification.
And did you make a hand signal when you told him don't touch the beer?
I made a slight gesture.
Yeah, okay, and that's what we're looking for next.
I'm not sure where we are in real time.
56, 54.
Okay, and then at 56, 57 is when he's texting. And then in a couple of seconds, the agents come in. So at no time did he touch the beer, as he stated.
Okay.
Okay, so just so we're clear, is it, go ahead. Do that first. Okay, so Mr. Hopkins,
Yes.
you,
Sorry.
so you asked for an ID first, is that right?
Correct.
All right, and then you did something else, and then you brought back a Corona
Correct.
beer, an open Corona beer, and you laid it in front of the cadet?
I didn't open it at the time, the first time, no.
Okay, but you, at some point, you placed the beer in front of the cadet?
Correct.
Okay, and you told him you needed to see ID?
Yes, to see if he was still looking for his ID.
Okay, and what's the purpose of asking for ID?
Just to prove your legal age to drink.
Okay, not to start a tab?
Correct.
To check his age?
Correct.
Okay, and at any time, did he take possession of that beer? Did he touch the beer?
He did not.
Okay, and did you admonish him not to touch the beer until he showed your ID?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
And he never did that?
That's
Did-
correct.
Did he indicate that where his ID was?
I indicated that he may have left it in his car.
Okay, and what happened next as far as trying to get that ID if it was in his car?
At the point, I let's assume that was given his trust that he would go and retrieve his ID, so I did leave the beer in front of him at that time.
Okay, and did he ever present an ID?
He did not.
Did you ever allow him to take possession of the beer?
Did not.
Did he pay for the beer?
No, there was no tab started or transaction of cash.
Okay, so you never got that far?
Correct.
And the next thing that happened is Agent Chris Amala shows up in the frame?
About a few seconds later, yes.
Okay, thank you, I have no further questions, the board may have questions for you.
I don't.
I don't have any questions.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. So on the basis of the testimony received, the charging documents, and any other proffers from counsel, the statute talks in terms of furnishing alcohol to a minor, and you make the argument that that would at least imply taking possession of it in some way. I don't know whether it does or not, but this, to me, doesn't rise to the level of what the rule was intended for, so I'm not inclined to find a violation on February 22, 2018.
I concur, after looking at the video and the testimony about the identification. 2 times he requested identification. Whether it's to start a tab or to verify his age, I think there was that effort made. So I'm also not inclined to find a violation.
So I actually differ with my colleagues. I think this is a violation because I think the language furnish, and it says may not sell or furnish, says our rule, and it's disjunctive. I think he was furnished with the beer, and to me and on top of that, the video doesn't, frankly, I'd love to know if there was another view to confirm that it was that cadet. I assume it was, based upon the testimony, but I would have found a violation of Rule 4.01A based on it being furnished to the cadet.
So the violation is dismissed 2-1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department report, Detective Greenhill. Board Exhibit 2, investigation report, Inspector John Chrisomalis.
For the clarification of the record, would the board like me to provide a thumb drive of the video as licensees Exhibit 1?
I assume you're not going up on appeal,
No, I'm
so
not.
I wouldn't be too concerned about the
Okay.
record.
Thank you very much.
Ivan Brown, 3508 Eastern LLC, trading as Carlos or Charlie's, 3508-10 Eastern Avenue. This is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. Here for violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February the 9th, 2018. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky, 320 North Charles Street, representing licensee.
Good afternoon. Please raise your right hands, gentlemen.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do.
Admission or denial, Mr.
It'll be
Cadet?
an admission.
Okay.
This is an indication where there was a lapse. The person who made the service was admonished and given a reprimand on the thing. They haven't had any violations there for 5 years, as a result of which they had all the people certified right after this to make sure. I've got copies of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different people who are servers there or bartenders, and they've all been certified as, and went forward. As before, you talk about people in the restaurant business, there was a turnover over that period of years, a bunch of new employees that are in there, these had to be recertified. Now, I don't know whether you know, or the board I'm talking to, is that there was a grant by the health department. You know about the grant? In Baltimore County, they got a grant to have a lot of people certified. Somebody put the money up. So they've been going to the they're going into restaurants now. Mr. Phil Peters is doing 20 or 30 people at a time. I don't know if it applies in Baltimore City or not, but I thought it was a nice program. Yeah, and they're getting to the bigger restaurants.
Okay. Was the licensee cooperative?
Yes, it was.
Commissioners have questions?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. On the basis of the admissions, the materials contained in the charging documents, the testimony, and the proffer from counsel, I'd find a violation of Rule 4.01A on February 9, 2018. It has been 5 years since the last, but this is the fourth sale to minor violation for the licensee. So I'd impose a $750 fine and give him 30 days to pay it.
I too find a violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors, February 9, 2018. I recognize it has been 5 years since the last sale to minor, but this is the fourth violation of this kind, so I'm inclined to impose a $1,200 fine.
I find a violation of Rule 4.01A on February 9, 2018, and would concur with Commissioner Hayfie on a $1,200 fine.
Okay, thank you.
Did we get the alcohol awareness certifications? Is it an exhibit?
Did you want to enter those certifications, Mr. Kadensky?
These are originals.
So, okay, unless you want to submit copies.
I'll get them to send them to me, and I'll
It's up to you.
put them in the file.
Okay.
I call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department report, Detective Greenhill. Board Exhibit 2, investigation report, Inspector Andy Perez.
Stanley Freeman and Amy Miller, Reed Park, Inc., trading as Drinkery, 203-09 West Reed Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Here for violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on March the 14th, 2018. Violation of Rule 3.03C, employees' records, March the 14th, 2018. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky, 320 North Charles Street, representing the licensee.
Would you raise your right hand, ma'am, and the gentleman over here?
You swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
This will be an admission. In this
Both
case,
charges or one?
well, the employee records were not available, but she had them, and she'll explain why they weren't available at the time. But as a technicality, yes. But
Okay.
we like to
Okay.
have the board look at it as a de minimis type thing.
So does she want to testify, or are you going to tell us?
I'll proffer that, in the case, generally, they have people there that are doormen. At this point here, it was a lapse with the doormen. They've not had violations. The license was issued a little while ago, as you can see. that was owned by Mr. Allen before, Fred Allen, who passed away. And taking over, she's went through and admonished all the people that are working there, having people recertified for alcohol awareness. As to the employee records, she, besides doing the licensee, she's a payroll person. She had all the records doing payroll. So she had them, but they weren't there available because she was doing payroll. So technically, they weren't available at the time. But now she knows that if she's going to not have them there, she's doing payroll, maybe have duplicates or some form of them present from now on.
So, I'm sorry, so you take them home or something to do work on?
I
Is
did
that
that,
what you do?
yes.
Okay. Was Mr. Ebner cooperative with you?
Yes, the manager and the server were very cooperative with us.
Okay. Commissioners?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, on the basis then of the admissions, the proffers and materials contained in the charging documents and testimony, I would find a violation of Rule 4.01A on March 14, 2018, and also a violation of Rule 3.03C on March 14, 2018. She's a relatively new licensee at this location with no history of violations. So I would impose a $350 fine as to the first violation, and as to the second, a $100 fine, because I think you now understand that you've got to keep the originals or copies at least on the premises. I give you 30 days to pay that.
I too find a violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on March 14, 2018, and I will impose a $400 fine. As to the violation of Rule 3.03 little c, employee records on March 14, 2018, I concur with a $100 fine.
I find a violation of Rule 4.01A on March 14, 2018, and will concur with the chairman on a $350 fine. Although, Ms. Miller, you're new to this license, I know that you're familiar with the rules and regulations and don't expect to see you back in this forum. I also find a violation of Rule 3.03C and agree with the imposition of a $100 fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to close exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department report, Detective Greenhill. Board Exhibit 2, investigation report, Inspector Andy Perez.
Lucia June and K.O. Shen, Lucky Cheo, Inc., trading as Kim's Liquors, 2863 West North Avenue. This is a Class A, beer, wine, and liquor. Here for a violation of 4.01A, sales to minors on February the 28th, 2018. Please come forward.
Would everyone who's going to be involved raise your right hand, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Hi,
Your name, sir?
Seyoung Oh.
Okay.
What's your name?
Seyoung Oh.
You're gonna have to spell that for me.
Okay, OH is the last name, and first name SAE.
And are you on the license, sir?
No, but I'm on payroll, and this store is one person operating store, and I was who committed the violation at that time, and there's another issue, but I'm on payroll, and I'm.
You are an employee, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And where are the licensees?
He out of state today, so no, actually. Yes, he's out of state.
Okay.
as well.
So do you admit that this occurred on March 14, 2018?
Yes,
Both the sale and the failure to provide the records?
yes.
Okay. Did you want to explain to us what happened?
Okay, firstly, actually, I'm still working for Forge Lincoln Livery Road. There was, they usually, several months ago, they cut the operating hour. And there's a few, employees that's moving out one by one. And I'm 64, so I feel like maybe I have to go, or, I wasn't sure about that. And at the time, I just fortunately started work on this store. And barely after, it happened barely after, just a few days after I commit this violation. And Actually, at the time, my mind was very busy whether I have to, move out, like a layoff, unfortunately, or I was in middle of them. Then unfortunately, they give me very little bit of hour, and then I started this is one person operator. And that day, I was somehow it's unexcusable mistake, but somehow maybe Karen know that just the guy, two male and female, I checked. Still, some reason it happened. Very minor keeping coming on, and I check everybody, and then suddenly he looks very so gentle, so dressed. Suddenly I'm confused. He looks like maybe it's a big mistake. It's not unexcusable, and but I know it is one person operating store, so I have to from now on,
And you didn't have the records there either? The employee records?
Yeah, I have here, and I can prove it.
Were they there on March 14?
Okay, so actually, at the time, another employee, there's a W-4 form, but I didn't know really that. So I brought that in, and here's another, my employee record. This is my W-4, and then I have starting with, both on, on my payroll.
So was this gentleman there? And was he cooperative?
Yes, he was.
Now, I have a question, because in the last case, the gentleman that was there was a Mr. Larry Evener. In this case, it was Mr. Larry Evener, and in the next case, it's Mr. Larry Evener. Is he the night manager of all of these places?
Was that a mistake?
That might be a is it in my police report or in?
It's in the reports that are in front of us, so I thought he's managing 3 bars? Did you all
I
notice?
saw that too. I assume it's a typo, Mr. Page? I don't.
I'm looking through it now, Mr. Commissioner.
So, is there, for the employee records?
It's one charge, I don't think the employee record's
Okay, so 303 is out.
It's not, so it was not in this case?
It's a piece of.
I don't have Mr. Evener in my report.
Okay. Do you have Mr. O?
In my report, I have, this is Kim's Liquors, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, I have, Mr. O.
Okay, so, because I was a little bit confused, but that's our fault, not yours,
All
sir.
right, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Stacy, for the record, what's Mr. Kim's Liquors, are they here for violation of a 3.03A
No, 4.01A.
only?
Yes, only,
Okay,
Is this a cut and paste?
cut and paste, yes.
so anything else you want to tell us, sir?
Just to say, I'm sorry about this unexcusable mistakes. That's all
I
can say.
appreciate it, okay. So, on the basis of your testimony and admission and the materials contained in the charging documents, the clarifications by testimony, I would find a violation of Rule 4.01A on March 14, 2018. There have been no prior violations, so I would impose a $350 fine and give you 30 days to pay it.
I too find a violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on March 15, 2018. However, I'm going to impose a $400 fine with 30 days to pay.
I'll find a violation of Rule 4.01A on March 14, 2018. Since it is your first violation, I will concur with the chairman for a $350 fine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask for 1 minute, please?
Yes.
What's going on? I don't understand.
I don't think there were any exhibits.
No.
Exhibits. There are exhibits. There are?
Oh.
Other police report.
Are you ready, Bryson? I'm ready. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department Report, Detective Greenhill. Board Exhibit 2, Investigation Report, Inspector John Howard. Give me 1 second.
Case number 10, Monroe Street.
Monroe. So in the next case, Monroe is going to be the same thing, it's only 1 violation.
Okay.
But they all have sales, records throughout.
Which one is this?
Monroe, 16.
Gordon's cut
55
rate.
North Monroe. 1 violation of sales to minor. No employee records.
And there's no Mr. Ebner. wanted.
So the charging document's consistent, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you ready, Mr. Page?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Number 10 on the PM docket, Zhu Young and Zhu Kim Yang Lin Yen, Inc., trading as Gordon's Cut Right, 1655 North Monroe Street. This is a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license. Here for violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February the 28th, 2018. Please come forward.
Did we provide notice?
Let me check.
1655 North Monroe Street.
I have yes.
Yes, it was served. Thank you.
Okay, so for the record, that looks like the notice was served on April 10th?
Or is that 20th?
I don't know, but it was before today. And it was more than 10 days, I believe.
Yes, sir.
So no one's present. Who's going to testify for the board? Please, Mr. Inspector Howard.
Good afternoon. It's Agent John Howard, Baltimore City Liquor
Would you raise
Board.
your right hand, please? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Inspector Howard.
Okay, on February the 28th, 2018, at approximately 9:30 p.m., members of the Baltimore City Police Department Vice Union and Baltimore City Liquor Board were utilizing Baltimore Police Cadet Bradford Day, who is under the legal drinking age of 21. Cadet Bradford was given a $20 bill which was marked and photographed prior to any investigation. At this time, we sent Cadet Bradford Day into 1655 North Monroe Street, which is known as Gordon's Cut Rate. Once inside, Cadet Bradford, they met with the server, identified as Mr. O.G. Chin, and Cadet Bradford asked for a bottle of 750 bottle of Paul Masson Peach in exchange for the $20 bill. At this time, Cadet Bradford notified the members of the police department and the liquor board of the alcohol purchase. We then entered the location and the server was identified by Detective Greenhill, Gato, Agents Howard and Clark. And the server was advised that he had sold to an underage police cadet. The alcohol was left with the night manager of the establishment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No questions.
Okay, thank you, Inspector. On the basis of the testimony received and the materials contained in the charging documents, I would find a violation of Rule 4.01 small a on February 28th, 2018. This is the first offense for this licensee, but they have failed to appear, so I would impose a $500 fine and give them 30 days to pay.
I, too, agree with a violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February 28, 2018, and I concur with a $500 fine.
I find a violation of Rule 4.01A on February 28th and would concur with the imposition of a $500 fine.
Okay, thank you.
Exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department report, Detective Greenhill. Board Exhibit 2, investigation report, Inspector John Howard.
Deneen Gordon and Monica Truesdale, DMT Enterprises, Inc., trading as Garrison Lounge, 3403-05 Clifton Avenue. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license here for violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February the 28th, 2018. Please come forward.
Would you folks all raise your right hands, please?
You swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And your names, please?
Dwayne Truesdale.
Okay.
Monica Truesdale.
Okay, and ma'am, you're on the license, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you admit or deny that on February 28th there was the sale to a minor?
Admission.
Okay, do you want to tell us what happened?
Actually, I wasn't there, and Mr. Truesdale is the person who serves, so I'll let him speak.
You are at fault.
I know.
Have you heard from her about that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was doing closing, and, you know, I'm trying to get people out. I seen the gentleman standing in the back, and he appeared with his street clothes on. He appeared to be over 21. Because I cards everybody. I'm not going to, my staff do. We haven't had, this is my first violation personally in almost 20 years. I don't think matter of fact, I never had one. And I think the store probably haven't had one in 13, 15 years. And the gentleman stepped around. I was going through something with two other customers. He stepped around and said, "Can I get what I need?" And looking at him, I just went on and served him in a hurry, and he left out. They came in. I gave them what they asked for.
Okay, so you admitted you did. Were they cooperative with you?
Always cooperative.
Okay. Commissioners?
No questions.
No questions.
Okay, thank you. On the basis of your admission and the testimony that you've presented and the materials contained in the charging documents, I'd find a violation of Rule 4.01A on February 28, 2018. It has been apparently 12 years since your last sale to minor violation. Had this license since 1999, right? So I'm inclined to be somewhat lenient. I would impose to make Commissioner Hafey happy, a $400 fine and give you 30 days to pay it.
We used to receive notices for IDing, but we don't get them anymore. Is it?
Notices for what?
We used to, the board used to give us, we used to receive letters in the mail saying that congratulations, a cadet came in and you did ID. So do y'all no longer do that? Or we
I
just
saw
have-
some earlier today. I don't know.
Oh, good. So,
We do.
okay. All right, good.
Yes.
You probably would have gotten one had you carded this, but
And the manager carded, right? But, yeah, we
just a
used to get those all
suggestion in the
time.
future.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna get some more.
All right.
I too find a violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February 28th, 2018. I recognize that this is 12 years since your last violation. However, this is the third sales to minor, same violation, third violation of this kind. I'm inclined to impose a $600 fine with 30 days to pay.
400. No good deed goes unpunished, Judge.
Right.
I too find a violation of Rule 4.01A on February 28, 2018. I'll split the difference and say $500.
I'll join you. So we'll do a $500 fine. That'd be 2 to 1.
I'll join
Thank
you as well, $500 fine.
Okay. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department report, Detective Greenhill. Board Exhibit 2, investigation report, Inspector John Howard.
Abrat Debesi, Tebet Gebra, and Heptam Waldo Miriam, UEL Inc., trading as Knights Liquors, 5139-41 Park Heights Avenue. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Here for violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February the 28th, 2018. Please come forward.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Peter Previs on behalf of the licensees. With me here today is licensee Hoptum Waldemariam. The licensee Abra Het de Beze is the city resident, and Tiebe Gebru is Mr. Waldemariam's wife, who is at the store right now, and he's here with authority for all three.
Would you all raise your right hands, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
This is an admission.
Okay, and what happened on February 28th?
Mr. Waldemariam actually served the cadet. He asked for ID. The cadet indicated that he didn't have it. He then said he was 22. There was a patron in the store, not with the cadet or anybody else, who kept insisting to Mr. Waldemariam, "Oh, come on, man, that guy's 20. He's at least 22. He's old enough. He's old enough." And he succumbed to the peer pressure and served the cadet even though he didn't have an ID, and he knows he's wrong. He's been much more careful since that happened. He had a prior violation for a BD7 violation with a hearing of June 17. He's also indicated that he's very much in compliance with his BD7 requirements at this time.
Okay, commissioners have questions?
I don't have any questions.
I do not.
Cooperative? Yes. Okay. On the basis of the admission, the testimony, the proffers, the materials contained in the charging documents, I'd find a violation of Rule 4.01A on February 28, 2018. I'd impose a $500 fine and give him 30 days to pay.
I too find a violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February 28th, 2018, and I concur with a $500 fine and 30 days to pay.
I find a violation of Rule 4.01A on February 28th and would concur with the $500 fine.
Thank you very much.
Ready to call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department report, Detective Greenhill. Board Exhibit 2, investigation report, Inspector John Howard.
Chuma, Chisa, and Crystal Peoples, Chisas and Company, Inc., trading as Curly's Liquors, 5200 Reisterstown Road. This is a Class A, a beer, wine, and liquor license. Here for violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February the 28th, 2018. Please come forward.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Andrew B. Saller, S-A-L-L-E-R, 12 South Calvert Street, on behalf of Mr. Chisa, who's standing to my right.
You've been,
Andrew Saller, S-A-L-L-E-R.
and you've been very patient. You're at the end of Mr. Acris's longest docket that he's ever created for us.
Going back to Wabash many years. I've been with him a while.
So would you raise your right hands, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do.
Admission or denial?
Admission, Commissioner.
Okay, so what happened?
The cadet came in right before the store was closing. My client, he has 6 children between the ages of 10 and 4, and he was eager to get home. He made the mistake.
I wouldn't be so eager.
He lives right around the corner from the store and wanted to get back home. He's apologetic. He's very active in the community. I have a letter from Neighborhoods United detailing what a wonderful person he is. He actively supports the local basketball programs they run, as well as the back-to-school book bags the neighborhood assembles, and he's just the mercy of the board.
Okay, cooperative? Yes. And commissioners, do you have questions?
I don't have any questions.
I do not.
Okay, thank you. On the basis of the admission, the materials contained in the charging documents, testimony, and proffer, I find a violation of Rule 4.01A on February 28, 2018. There's no violations. He's had the license for, coming up on 3 years. I would impose a $350 fine and give him 30 days to pay it.
I too find a violation of Rule 4.01A, sales to minors on February 28th, 2018, and I will impose a $400 fine, 30 days to pay.
Find a violation of Rule 4.01A on February 28, 2018. Given that this is your first violation and the letter from Neighbors United, I would concur with a finding of a fine for $350.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Seems unlikely, but.
Ready to call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department report, Detective Greenhill. Board Exhibit 2, investigation report, Inspector Howard. Licensee Exhibit 1, letter of support from Neighbors United. Thank you.
Does that conclude our docket, Mr. Page?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. The board is in recess until Thursday, May the 17th, 2018, 11 a.m. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.